When did I start this? Well, I started pretty early thinking about in these lines. When kids used to wear what they call knickers and black stockings, and I always had a hole in my stockings. But I used to paint the skin in those holes with black ink, and it didn't show. So I thought that was kind of creative. Further than that, I can't say there's any real reason for my doing what I do. And as far as inspiration, forget it. It's stand in front of the mirror and make funny positions and try and remember them. And looking at myself isn't quite what you'd think of as an inspiration. So people always ask how I make these things and where I get the ideas. Well, there aren't any ideas behind it, except as I say, any time you see a person dancing or picture in the paper of a ballet dancer, I think that's your idea. Now, outside of that, they symbolize nothing except maybe joy and the irrelevance of everything else except that. Well, I work outdoors because it's slightly, so they say, poisonous. It's not good to breathe the fumes and the dust and that sort of thing. So it really has to be done, and also it has to be warm, so that means summertime. So that gives me painting in the winter. So I divide it up pretty well. I'm satisfied. Well, this is my very first figure, and I made it out of styrofoam, and I started to coat it with epoxy. It started to go up in flames and burn great holes in it, and it was kind of interesting. It looked like the moon sort of welcomes people in, whether they're welcome or not. Well, this is a perfect example of so-called found objects. That horn is the base of a plastic stool that we used to have that I kicked apart just because it had so much appeal. And the stool wasn't much good anyway. I began to be noted for scallop shells. Here's another found object. My dentist gave it to me. It's turned upside down, had a heater underneath and his instruments inside. It had a kerosene burner, and it's quite old. And He thought I'd like it. And besides, he owes it to me with his bill and so forth. There aren't many birds like that left. It's an endangered species. My dentist thought I was an endangered species, too. This is my only holy man, because my only inspiration, I guess. But it's just for the fun of it. He's supposed to be Saint Simeon, who's for 40 years or some fabulous time made sermons on the height of a column, like a flagpole sitter. That one on the wall, for instance, is Daphnis and Chloe. He's sort of chasing her, frankly. And I put a little penis on him. And people stand, laugh, and you laugh, and they love it. And they may not see the rest of the figures at all. They think that's funny. Well, it is funny, but it belongs there. This is Gabriel by the sea, I guess. And I just had an old piece of junk that I thought made look, an old piece of plumbing it is, that made for a good horn, I thought. It's another found object. This one here is St. Francis. He goes down in history as the first beatnik, I think. He sold all his father's stuff and gave it to the poor. His father was burned up. That Francis, he said. He talked to birds a lot, and vice versa. There are some good people. The tour buses stop here. They would all gather around and ask questions, and very unnecessary questions like, how much are these, and how many do you make in a day, and that sort of thing. The thing is, they're innocent, very innocent about the whole thing, and some of them are smirking by themselves and say, this is crazy, and so forth. But none of them show it, disrespect, and nor do I show them disrespect. And that's an even trade. There are some people who think these things are just plain silly and I'm trying to be funny. But they do have form, and that's the whole purpose. The idea of making them with sort of ugly bodies and cheerful at the same time. There's kind of a philosophy behind it. And people who look like that can enjoy life. I guess they do. There's one question you always ask, some people do, why you do this? And that's kind of hard to answer too. I mean, I can't say God made me or something like that. But I usually say I can't think of anything else to do. And I like to use my hands. And people who like to use their hands usually end up doing it, whether it's profitable or not. So that's why I do it. Did I go to school? Art school, 3 days, yeah. And it was after the war. The GI Bill was current. And it was filled with kids who got in free. And I'm not saying they're insincere, but it was filled. And I never even got in the room where the model was. That's where my 3 days went. and that's the extent of any education, except wandering around in museums and so forth, which I did always. Very nice to lie in bed in the morning, eager to finish what you were doing the day before. It's something, a reason for being, whether it amounts to anything or not. It's a good way to spend your life.